word of prayer. Hold on 1 second. Everybody ready? Hey, I'll come out and turn that up higher. Yep, is that better? All right. Pastor, we're glad you're here. We appreciate you opening us up for word of prayer.
It's good to be here with all of you this evening. We could bow our heads together tonight. Heavenly Father, we come before you today asking your blessing on this quorum court, on all these who serve our county. I pray, Lord, that you would grant these leaders wisdom to make decisions that truly serve the best interest of all of our residents. Give them understanding that is not just for today, but for the long-term impact that their choices will have on families and on generations to come. I pray that you would help them to act with righteousness, always free from personal preference, from political pressures, or undue influences. Let their decisions that they make here be marked by fairness and compassion and integrity. Protect our county from division. Give these leaders unity of spirit as they work together for the common good for all of us. And keep these good leaders and honor their sacrifice and commitment, Jesus. Bless their going out and their coming in. And finally, Lord, remind us all that true leadership is service. May humility guide their hearts, and may the service of others always be their goal, as you taught us, so that our community could flourish in peace and in prosperity. Let them follow the simple yet powerful command that you gave to Micah the prophet, that they will do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with you. We pray it all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there's Brandon. Brandon, I'm gonna turn it over to you. We appreciate you all coming down this evening and to share a time of fellowship and everything, and we just want to show a small token of our appreciation to your support for our programs here. On the table, there is a one sheet front and back that kind of highlights some of the things that we from each program area that we did last year. That's not an all-inclusive list, but that was the best that we could do, because that's all the room they gave us when we had to sit at the Little Rock. But anyway, after we get ready, we go through the line, and after you eat, Malia Cook, our 4-H agent, has got a little something for y'all. Y'all don't have to work for your food, okay? So anyway, we're going to do that afterwards. Won't take very long, and then we'll get out of your way so you can finish the meeting. So you ready to? Yes, sir. Yeah. If you just want to go through their single file, and include everybody can go eat. So let's, ladies first. Go right ahead.
we're on call meeting back at Quorum, Brandon and Malia have got a presentation for us, and they're gonna put you to work.
Now, yeah, I told you before, y'all have to work for what you just ate, and I want to turn it over to Malia. She's got one of the, explain about a couple of projects that the 4-H kids do. And I'm gonna let her explain it, because I can't do it very good. So come on, Malia.
Well, we kind of adjust and modify on the fly in 4-H, which is our feeling. We're eating in a restaurant around here. Every single person that is serving in that restaurant or cooking in that restaurant has to go through a program called Serve Safe. Do you know, you guys know what Serve Safe is? Like, I knew you did because of what you do. Serve Safe basically is teaching them correct safety in the kitchen. It's teaching them correct health habits while they're in the kitchen. It's teaching them about foodborne pathogens and illness. I don't know about you, but I don't want a side of listeria with my salad. Okay? You've got Chris Grimes. He is one of our big ag agents, R2 Ag. Soil sample done. Right, or has your lawn service done soil sampling for your yard or turf? Well, if they did, guess who they're bringing it to do it? It's us. They're not charging you guys, but they're bringing it to us. They ran over 11,000 soil samples through this county. When you look at a farmer and you look down much compared to the soil samples, but you have to think about that in a ratio. How much turf do we have in the county? That is very important, a lot. Wings ministry. It's pretty stinking important. Do you know who does the educational portion of that for nutrition every single semester? Kim Huffman. She's one of our people here. The number one growing rate or ratio of people right now that's learning how to can, it's not you guys. It's not me. Guess who it is? It's the young people, specifically the millennials, the late 20s and the early 30s. And do you know where they come to do that? Here, because is gonna tell you a little bit about what's going on. Get your running shoes on, some of y'all.
Hello, everybody. My name is Everett Hutton, and today we are going to have a competition, a Clash of Titans with Maggie Hutton over here with her Spice Girl project, and Asa Eddington with his soda pop cake. Soda pop cake. And before we get started, is everybody excited for this?
Yeah. All the golfers are.
So what we're gonna do here today is a relay race. So we're gonna have 5 minutes on the clock, and we're gonna have a relay race to see who can make the most packets in 5 minutes.
We're gonna need 8 volunteers.
Yes.
4 for each. Awesome. Way to step up. And he just said in the prayer, real leadership comes from service. Y'all thought I wasn't listening, but I was. I was waiting to work that in. I forgot about it. See, I didn't.
You gonna
Go with me.
No, I'm right.
Oh, never mind. You go.
No, you're right. They need to win it. It needs to be even.
All right. Real quick before you start, they get like a minute apiece. Maggie, tell them what your project is real quick.
Hey guys, my name is Maggie. I've been working with 4-H for 8 years, and this is the Spice Girl project. It's a project that I did last year and this year, where I made spice kits and distributed them at a local food pantry during the Christmas, during the holiday season. And I also made a website with local food banks, food pantries, and soup kitchens, and their addresses. If y'all want to know more about that, I'm really excited and happy to talk to y'all after. Lynn?
I mean, it's not all about winning, of course.
It's not all about winning, but
You're like, all right, Asa, tell them about your soda cake.
My name is Asa Eddington, and my lead and I started a project around the end of last year on the ABC gifts for all to be celebrated for the people that are in foster care or using the food pantry don't have money to buy birthday cakes or anything to celebrate. So this way they'll have something that's easy to make with and cheap for them to buy or use. So if there are families that are visiting the kids in foster care and it's their birthday, they can pull them using out of the kitchen and make these with their family.
Awesome.
So what was your favorite?
Yes. So I made those actually because when I first heard about this, I was like, because I'm from the South and there was no butter, there were no eggs, and there was no oil, and I was like, so they had to sell it to me. So I thought I better tell people these actually taste really good. All right. So line up by your tables. Y'all have to pack them. Everett is gonna be your running. Run up here. So Everett, when you finish the pack, Everett, you will put it on its respective side, and whoever's done first is bragging rights till next year. Bonus one that you can do it in my sheet. In your order.
It doesn't matter. Just one, two, yes,
yeah. So again, them.
Organization. I'll start off with a stick.
There may be some different brands. All right, are we ready? Wait, is every team clear? Spice Girls, are you clear? ABC Cakes, are you clear? All right. On your mark. Get set. Go. Woo! Oh, I gotta pass it off. Take. We have reigning supreme today, are the Spice Girls, but let's give both teams a hand, let's get a picture. There's 2 pair of coat shields around here. Let me get out, but y'all get a picture with your handiwork. These will all go to Terry and Foster Home. Let's straighten that up a little bit. Okay. Spice guys. Spice crew. Spice crew. So you guys did your community service for the day. Because these actually, they'll get tidied up a bit, but they will actually go to our pantries and to our foster home.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you was recording.
I don't care.
Why don't you say something?
I'm saying those $2 on Poshmark, guys.
We need to hear
They pressure me. I would say you don't pay my salary, but you kind of do. Thank you guys so much. You know, we're amazing sports. Thank you. Bye, guys.
No, we're good.
I'm out of breath.
All right, Brandon, Maria, thank y'all for your hospitality. Cheers, Joe. Very much okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Would you call the roll, please?
Linda Allison.
Here.
Garrett Barnes. Steve Klein.
Here.
Gerald Cook.
Here.
Terry Couch.
Here.
Barry Forrest.
Here.
Josh Longmire.
Here.
Brad Knoll.
Here.
Dan Passmore.
Here.
Richard Rogers.
Here.
Betty Tennyson.
Here.
Rick Myers.
Here.
Kevin Williams.
Here. All right, our next item of business is the approval of the August 11th meeting minutes. Motion by Justice Morris, second by Justice Allison. Any comments or questions about these minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Let's do our committee reports. We'll start off with public service.
We've got 2 of them. Public Service Committee minutes, special call 7/28/2025. Attendance, Justice Richard Rogers, Chair, Brad Knoll, Linda Allison, Kevin Williams, Secretary Clerk David Barnes, called to order. Justice Richard Rogers called the meeting to order at 5:47 p.m. JSAP Committee recommendation. The committee was asked to approve JSAP committee salary exception, recommendation. Justice Brad Knoll made a motion to approve. Kevin Williams second the motion. All in favor to approve with no further business. Justice Brad Knoll made a motion to adjourn. Justice Linda Allison second. The meeting is adjourned at 5:55 p.m. Public Service Committee minutes 8/11/2025. Justice Linda Allison called the Public Service Committee meeting to order at 5:38 p.m. in the absence of Chairman Richard Rogers. Attendance, Justice Brad Knoll, Justice Linda Allison, Justice Kevin Williams, Collector Wes Eddington, Treasurer Terry McKnight, County Clerk Mary Donna Marshall, Sheriff Marty Boyd, Circuit Clerk David Vaughn, and County Judge Marvin Day, and the Jonesville Sun. Ordinance to request an analysis for alternative county government organization for the consolidation of the Office of Treasurer and Collector and other purposes. The other day spoke regarding the ordinance brought before the committee. A discussion was held on the potential to save $150,000 per year by consolidating the offices. The proposed ordinance allows a study to be done on the efficiency of consolidation before moving forward to a public vote to take effect in 2030. Collector Wes Eddington commented on the treasurer's ability to move staff around to cover additional collector's office roles, but expressed concern regarding the difficulty of business personal collections. A motion by Justice Kevin Williams and a second by Brad Knoll were made to pass the ordinance to full quorum court. Motion to adjourn was made by Justice Brad Knoll, second by Justice Kevin Williams. All in favor, meeting adjourned at 5:49 p.m.
Thank you for that. Finance Committee.
Finance Committee met 8/11/2025. Justice Josh Longmire called the meeting to order at 5:36 p.m. Those in attendance were Justice Dan Passmore, Darrell Cook, Barry Forrest, Rick Myers, Craighead County Tax Collector Wes Ennington, and Treasurer Terry McNatt. Tax collection report presented by Collector Ennington, noting an increase in collections of 0.3%. The treasurer report by Terry McNatt presented the financial report, noting a 6.21% sales tax increase, and revenues are up over $1 million in the month of July. Revenues were up $1.1 million from July 2024. The juvenile probation fee fund appropriation ordinance was to add funds into Fund 3031, juvenile probation fee fund, Department 0414, line 4005, in the amount of $26,300 to pay one half of the cost to purchase a 15-passenger van. A motion was made by Justice Darrell Cook and a second from Justice Dan Passmore to read the ordinance by title only. Motion by Justice Darrell Cook and a second from Justice Rick Myers were made to pass the ordinance to the full court. Peer Recovery Program Fund appropriation ordinance to add funds to pay a peer recovery specialist salary and fringe from Fund 3526, Department 0409, through an AOC grant. A motion was made by Justice Darrell Cook and a second from Justice Dan Passmore to read the ordinance by title only. Motion by Justice Barry Forrest and a second from Justice Darrell Cook were made to pass the ordinance to the full court. Adjournment with no further business. Justice Barry Forrest made a motion to adjourn, and Justice Darrell Cook seconded. All in favor, and the meeting was adjourned.
Thank you. Transportation.
Transportation Committee meeting minutes, 8/11/2025. Justice Fine called the meeting order at 8:38. Justice attendance was Justice Fine, Justice Terry Couch, Justice David Tennyson, Justice Garrett Barnes, and Road Superintendent John James were present. Road Superintendent John James provided an update on the current road projects. One plat was reviewed. A motion was made by Justice Garrett Barnes to approve that plat. Second by Justice Terry Couch. All were in favor of the approval. No further business. A motion was made by Justice David Tennyson to adjourn. Second by Justice Terry Couch. All in favor of meeting adjourned.
All right. I see that we do not have any old business, so I'm moving to new business, which is the 2024 legislative audit report review. I wish I'd have caught which page this was, so I don't have to and carry on for a second. Let me find it quickly. We had a clean audit, except for one thing, and if you will recall, back in the spring, we asked you to update our county policies on personnel matters as it relates to if someone is wanting to make a change to their personnel, they have to do it in person with a wet signature, that sort of thing. So our one ding is that even though this audit year is 2024 and early 25, we had actually a state employee, their email got hacked, and a bad actor took control of that email account and then turned around and sent an email to one of our district court employees that then clicked on the link because it came from their friend at the AOC, Administrative Office of Courts, which then gave this hacker access to our county employee's email address. And once they had control of that physical account, they sent an email to our office requesting that, hey, I changed banks and please deposit my paycheck in this new bank. And even though we determined the problem within hours, once payroll was run, it was already done. So we have changed that where you can't just send an email. You're going to have to physically be seen. You're going to have a wet signature. But that is our one finding that we had in that audit report. You can see the page, but that's it. It is after page 5, there's a letter that says management letter. right, so if there's not any other questions about the incident, or I'll open the floor up, are there any questions about the audit in general? If not, then I would appreciate just a motion and a second, and we'll do a voice vote just acknowledging receipt of the audit report and that we have read those findings.
So moved.
I have a motion by Justice Klein, second by Justice Couch, to accept the audit and those findings. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Moving on to our next item is an ordinance to request the analysis for an alternative county government organization for the consolidation of the Office of Treasurer and Collector and other purposes. This would be first reading of that. Would you read that, please, Tara?
Be it enacted, the Quorum Court of Craighead County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance to request the analysis for alternative county government organization for the consolidation of the Office of Treasurer and Collector and for other purposes. Whereas the Quorum Court is always charged with reviewing internal government of Craighead County to improve efficiency, effectiveness, responsiveness, and accountability to better serve the citizens of Craighead County. And whereas the elected offices of Treasurer and Collector serve important roles for the financial records and income and expenses for Craighead County and the disbursements and collection of funds on behalf of Craighead County. And whereas in light of similar situated counties such as Pulaski and Sebastian, Johnson, Lafayette, Monroe, the offices of Treasurer and Collector are combined and both offices has been consolidated. And whereas Quorum Court members are seeking to explore the possibility to consolidate both functionally similar county offices pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 14-14-613. Now therefore be it ordained by the legislative body of Craighead County, state of Arkansas, Section 1, the Quorum Court seeks to have a separate analysis conducted regarding a proposal for the consolidation of offices of Treasurer and Collector, and the analysis shall follow the terms as set forth in Arkansas Code annotated sections 14-14-606. Section 2, the analysis shall be completed within 60 days. Section 3, the analysis shall take into account an election that would go before the voters of Craighead County at the next general election on November 2026, whereby the issue to be considered may be a consolidation of officers of the Treasurer and Collector to be effective January 1st, 2030, pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated section 14-14-702 and Arkansas Constitution Amendment 55, section 2. Section 4, the Craighead County Election Commission shall be put on notice that this matter will be subject to further vote and discussion by this legislative body. Section 5, the Quorum Court shall revisit and review the terms of the analysis for the purpose of determining if an alternative county government organization would make the county more efficient by consolidating the offices of Treasurer and Collector. Section 6, if any provision of this ordinance is held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions of the ordinance, which can be given effect without the invalid provision. And to this end, the provisions of the ordinance are declared to be severable.
Thank you for that first reading. Just for the pleasure of the court, the process to go through this is multiple steps. The first step is what you see before you tonight, which is you want to consider it. You think that maybe this is possibly a good way for the county government to be more efficient, and you start a study. The statute that allows this, it is extremely broad of what that study looks like or how you do that. So the study is completed. Then the next step, you would accept that study. The court would review it and say, that looks reasonable, or no, that doesn't look reasonable to me. And you can either accept that study or not. And then the third final step is you would then refer that to the people and let them vote on it as to whether the people of Craighead County want to change that structure in any way. One question that was brought up to me that I want to bring before you is, how much are we going to spend on this? And what does that look like? And really the question I propose to you is, what would you like for it to look like? What, in my mind, and in conversations I've had with reviewing some of the other counties that did this, that they generally just had their county attorney prepare analysis. They would review the other counties, and look at how they've done it. Do they like it, do they not? That's something that I could do or Brandon could do, collecting a lot of that information. But at the end of the day, then Kimberly would then also interview our elected officials and staff and kind of weigh in on what they see and compile that. So we're not really trying to reinvent the wheel, but we would kind of lean on what the other counties have already done and bring that into that analysis. If that is what pleases the court, I would imagine, just looking at the amount of time, I wouldn't think that we'd spend more than $4,000 or $5,000 with our attorney. Obviously, you're paying Brandon and I and the rest of the staff already, but that would just be whatever time it took for her to interview the other elected officials and compile the document. We've got a lot of time, honestly. That's why we're not necessarily rushing this. We got time to work through that, but because it would be on the November 26th ballot and wouldn't go into effect until 2030. And so we just have to get it on, have it all. We have to finish this process. If I were going to guess, Mary Dawn looking at me, but probably
Next year.
yeah, June, July, mid-year
I wanted
next
to
year.
say August, I'd have to double check those numbers, but I want to say August.
Of course, to get on the ballot. Yes.
So in committees, so
Yeah.
I don't know, fair enough, how we can apply it, but I mean, I would be the best to hear any comments from Craighead as well too. Like, I wanted to put in everybody down for. I'm not answering any questions. I'm here to answer any questions. I weigh in all the time. I was not at the public service meeting in the minute I was, I was in finance.
No, we had minutes that requested.
You were in the minutes earlier, yes, and you was not present.
Oh,
I wasn't either. I'm sure. I didn't know who was that.
You can answer any question you got. Judge and I spoke about it. Anything is possible, if anybody would like. No crazy wants to collect liability issues. They help. I can't speak for those in the future who are going to talk. Talk to sheriffs. I've already said over, I'll pick on him. You ask any sheriff if they want to collect the charges, you notice that they're all pushing away. Winsett County is separated from the sheriff's department. To answer the question, are we overworking them? We're not. It's liability. Trusting the people that you get working on three things can be done. We can learn all of our offices to push it. I don't think anybody wants to just go apart with it. I don't think the sheriff wants to take it.
The question all this does is approve the state.
yes, sir, I did all of that.
We have to read it 3 times.
We could, at the next reading, if you guys would like to, combine,
Should we suspend the rules now and have the same reading? Wait for the second.
probably would be better to do it the next one.
I would entertain, or I'd like to make a motion to amend the kind of the $5,000 cap on the public.
So we have a motion to amend this with a $5,000 cap, motion by Justice Longmire, second by Justice Barnes. Any comments or questions on that? All right, I'm in murky water. I'm gonna go with, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Assuming I did not have to do a roll call, so If I find out later I should have done a roll call, we'll deal with it, but I don't think,
Nobody voted against it.
yeah, nobody abstained. Okay, so everybody voted for it. Okay, go ahead.
So realistically, we do this, just do one office, so there won't be a collection of stuff.
There will be, that's correct. On the, if this goes through, what this is proposing is that on the 2030 ballot, that there would be a collector treasurer.
Yeah, well,
That's correct. Yeah, but
So the slope of the analysis, bring us back and look at the pros, the offices, once combined,
I would think so, yeah. I would think so. We'd like, I mean, I'd like to better understand really what, what other folks, what other counties do and how they do it. Does that make sense?
So if we amend this, will we have to approve that part of it? Or we will amend it?
All good question. I'll find out. I don't think so. I think we could probably just roll that forward and even suspend it.
yeah.
Next time. Sir,
So out of 75 counties, 5 members, now how many following it?
I don't remember, Terry may remember the exact one, but Washita changed theirs 5 years ago.
Last we had an issue with the collector, two previous collectors were Stephen Norman, last. And they thought if they moved it on the treasurer's office, they would be more secure.
And has it been?
It's been secure, it's just the number of employees that is expanded.
Yeah, the comment I got was the current Sebastian County judge, he had been a long time collector treasurer. And when I picked up the phone, I said, Steve, what do you know about it? He said, man, that's the greatest thing we've ever done. He said, it's great. He said, you can thin down elected officials, it saves money. And he said, I'm not advocating for that because, my people get mad at me and your people get mad at you. Honestly, you would be able to swap out people, and potentially reduce that. I'm not advocating for that. I think our I wouldn't. No, I would not. I said that in committee meeting. I would not look at that. I would, just from what little bit I see, I'd keep it the same. But have it where you could cross train where people could assist each other.
So the savings would be $88,000 down.
And all the other benefits that go along with that, health insurance, APRS, all that. I think it's somewhere around 150,000 is kind of what we thought, but maybe.
We'll get more details in that later.
All right, we have first reading, we have amended that, we'll go to our next item of business. Is an appropriations ordinance to add Fund 3031 to the Juvenile Probation Fee Fund, Department 414, line 405, in the amount of $26,300 to pay 1/2 of the cost to purchase a 15-passenger van. Would you read that, please?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Craighead County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending the 2025 annual operating budget to add funds into Fund 3031, Juvenile Probation Fee Fund, Department 0414, line 4005, in the amount of $26,300 to pay 1/2 of the cost to purchase one 15-passenger van and should be incorporated into the 2025 Craighead County annual operating budget, with the remaining 1/2 to be paid from Budget Fund 3015, Sheriff Drug Control Fund, Department 0400, line 4005, in the amount of $26,300, with total purchase price of $52,600. Section 1, that the van currently being used to transport inmates to and from various detention facilities and state prisons and transporting juvenile inmates to various parts of the county who are participating in the Arkansas Litter Pickup Program, is no longer in use due to high maintenance repair costs and safety issues and is no cost effective to repair and maintain. Section 2, that the proposed purchase is a used 15-passenger van with medium roof 2024 year model with 13,211 miles. This vehicle will be jointly shared by the Craighead County Sheriff's Department and the Juvenile Probation Department. This appropriation will be established in the annual operating budget to allow for accurate tracking and dispersing of budget funds. Fund 3031, Special Revenue Department 0414, Juvenile Probation Fee Fund, old $37,819.10, change $26,300, new $64,119.10. Account 4005, vehicles, old, 0, change 26,300, new 26,300, total amount budgeted $26,300. There's hereby appropriated $26,300 into Fund 3031, Juvenile Probation Fee Fund 0414, Juvenile Probation Line 4005, vehicles to pay 1/2 of the cost to purchase 2024 year model 15-passenger van. These funds shall be established in the chart of accounts by the county treasurer and entered into the accounts payable appropriations journal by the county clerk as described upon passage of this ordinance.
All right, thank you for that. First, I would like to introduce Jay Hudson, our new juvenile office supervisor. He's been there 2 months, a month?
Supervisor?
Yeah.
1 month.
1 month.
2 days.
1 month today. Jay, thank you for
2 days.
2 days, all right. All right,
And he's still here.
and he's still here.
Yes. Subject to change. He was trying to set out the next rule for that.
That's right. Any comments or questions about that appropriations order? We bought, Clark Seacrease at Glen Sane, he's been finding us stuff, and he found us some new ones, but it would take a little while and be a little more expensive, and he found this one at auction. We bought it actually through a dealer auction. You're looking at it and go, vans are expensive. That was the first thing I said. Yeah, vans are expensive. I did not know that either. All right. Make a motion to approve. Motion by Justice Cook, second by Justice Tennyson. Call the roll, please.
Steve Klein.
Yes.
Darryl Cook.
Yes.
Terry Couch.
Yes.
Barry Forrest.
Yeah.
Josh Longmire.
Yes.
Brad Knoll.
Yes.
Dan Passmore. Richard Rogers.
Yes.
David Tennyson.
Yes.
Rick Myers.
Yes.
Kevin Williams.
Yes.
Linda Allison. Yes. Garrett Barnes.
Yes.
All right, I show that passes. Next item up is an appropriations ordinance to add funds to peer recovery specialist salary infringements from Fund 3526, Department 409 through an AOC grant. Would you read that, please?
Be it enacted by the Quorum Court of Craighead County, Arkansas, an ordinance to be entitled, an ordinance amending the 2025 operating budget to add funds to pay a peer recovery specialist salary infringed from Fund 3526, Department 409, District Court to pay an individual to mentor STAR court participants through a grant provided by the AOC, Administrative Office of the Courts, CFDA number 93.788, DBHS SDR opioid response via Arkansas DHS. Section 1, that there is grant funding available to hire a PRS, peer recovery specialist for STAR court, allowing reimbursement to the county over a 12-month period, beginning from hire date of the peer recovery specialist. This grant will cover the majority of the salary infringed for the PRS position, reimbursable to the county on a quarterly basis. Section 2, that Fund 3526, Department 0409, STAR Court Peer Recovery Program will have funding increased in the 2025 annual operating budget to allow for the hiring of the peer recovery specialist position only while the grant is in place. If the grant is ended for any reason, the position will no longer be funded. This appropriation ordinance covers the period from September 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. Funds for the remaining 8 months of allowed employment will be included in the 2026 budget. Section 3, due to the limitations of the salary and fringe reimbursement allowed by the ALC grant, there will be a deficit in the fund due to Craighead County employee benefits being paid at a higher rate than what the grant allows. The difference in the reimbursement amount paid by the ALC each quarter will be billed and paid by Fund 3045 District Court Specialty Court Fund to bring Fund 3526 back to zero. There will be no county general funds contributing to this fund. Fund 3526 Star Court Peer Recovery Program, Department 0409 District Court, old 0, change $18,698.50. New, $18,698.50. Account 1001, Peer Recovery Specialist Salary, 100% reimbursed. Old, 0, change $12,500. New, $12,500. Account 1006, Social Security match. Old, 0, change $956.25. New, $956.25. Account 1007, retirement match. Old, 0, new, $1,915, new, $1,915. Account 1009, health insurance match. Old, 0, change, $3,000, new, $3,000. Account 1010, workman's compensation. Old, 0, new, change, $171.25, new, $171.25. Account 1011, unemployment compensation. Old, 0, new, $96, new, $96. Account 1012, other fringe benefits, including wellness incentive. Old, 0, change, $50, new, $50. Account 1016, life insurance. Old, 0, change, $10, new, $10. Account 1017, vacation personal time buyback. Old, 0, change, $10, new, $10. Account 3100, other miscellaneous, was $10, removed $10, new balance $0. Total amount budgeted $18,698.50. There is hereby appropriated an additional $18,698.50 into Fund 3526, Department 0409, for adding funds to be able to hire a PRS, peer recovery specialist for Star Court. These funds shall be established in the chart of accounts by the county treasurer and entered into the accounts table appropriations journal by the county clerk, as described upon passage of this appropriation ordinance.
Move to approve. Motion by Justice Barnes, second by Justice Cook. Any comments or questions about that appropriations order?
I do have a question.
All right.
Is this a part-time position at $12,500?
No, if you saw in the body of that document, that $12,500 covers the salary from September 1 through December 31.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's just the first quarter. And we already have the grant funds for the other 3 quarters of next year, but it's just a 1-year thing. And we actually, in this case, we do already have, I should say, district court already has a person that's been volunteering there that would like to have this job. So we actually do have it.
Is this a renewal or are we adding? I remember this coming up before.
So we have had different funding sources for different specialty courts, different peer recovery. In this case, this is a brand new one that was administered through the administrative office of the court. So they had a grant money, and that's where this one. The previous ones came out of opioid settlement funds, for those other grants or employees.
So this, if we approve this tonight, will we have just one of these peer support specialists, or what would the total be?
In district court, I don't think they've ever, honestly, Garrett, I don't think they've ever been able to hire one in the circuit courts, peer recovery specialist. But I think there's still some money there, but they've just not been able to, I think it was giving us 40,000 if I remember right. They've just not been able to hire anybody like that. Yes. All right. Any other comments or questions? Would you call the roll, please, Tara?
Darryl Cook,
Yes.
Terry Couch,
Yes.
Barry Forrest, Josh Longmire,
Yes.
Brad Knoll,
Yes.
Dan Passmore,
Yes.
Richard Rogers,
Yes.
David Tennyson,
Yes.
Rick Myers,
Yes.
Kevin Williams,
Yes.
Linda Allison,
Yes.
Garrett Barnes,
Yes.
Steve Klein.
I think it still passes without Barry. So, all right, we're gonna move into announcements, and I wanna first, just kind of recognize, we've got, two candidates here, Lance Owens and Brian Miles, that are running for circuit, judge. We appreciate you being here to come visit with us. Thank you very much. And then back in the back is Jason Allen, who's a candidate for, Craighead County Sheriff, going forward. So, please, after the meeting, if you take time to visit with these folks, we appreciate you being here. I don't have any other announcements. Are there any other that I know of? We are happy today is Brandon's first day back. Trial by fire, we're back, we're happy he's here. So now I'm open for public comments. If we don't have any, we will accept a motion to adjourn. Justice Rogers and Justice Myers.